everybody. Swapping on over to chat.
Thank you for waiting so patiently.
Hi there.
Hello, Box.
Hi,
Box.
We were running a little bit late today, sorry.
That's my fault.
It's mine too. I'm the one gossiping with you, right? When we're already late, I'm the one here being like, oh, let me talk about this. You're like, oh, let me ask some questions. Like, oh, yeah, sure. Let me explain this at length. And wait, no.
It's fine. That's what we're like, though, because we just get to...
God, we really are.
Hi, Foxy. Welcome in. Fox, what is that emote? Uppies? Oh, how cute.
Uppies is cute. That's so cute.
That is such a cute emote.
But we have a topic-packed discussion for you folks today.
Yes.
So I think Dan asked me to look into one topic for him because he wanted to discuss it. So I had that on my list, and we both have the Game Awards, so we're gonna chat a little bit about that. And then I had 5 pieces of VTuber news to talk about. I'm not sure how many Dan's bringing to the table, but we're gonna fill our time, that's for sure. About Peanut? No, not about the Peanut. At least I'm not talking about the Peanut. Maybe Dan is. How long you'll be able to watch for? You have to go away for a little bit. No worries, Foxy. You can stay as long as you like.
That's all good, Foxy. You know well we are chill. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll talk about the Peanut specifically, but there'll definitely be conversation about like the Game Awards. And this is going to be my only discussion about the Game Awards. I haven't said anything on it so that I could save it all for this chat.
I had a VOD where I went through my votes for it. And then I have to.
I did my votes.
I have to well, no, I did a. Sorry, that was a stealth sneeze. No, I did the stream where I voted for it, and then I have to actually go and like post something to socials to like compare my card and like my score and be like, how did I do?
Oh, you go that serious? Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I have a VOD talking about it. I might as well like be like, okay, this is what I said would win, and this is what actually won. But I don't know. I had like half a dozen categories where I didn't care because like esports, I have no interest in. So yeah,
that's true.
I think he might only play Tarkov box, and he might only play Tarkov. But anyway, so. Dan, do you want to go first or second, or how do we want to do this?
I can start first. My main topic is about this. I don't know if everyone's heard about the Kickstarter game called Puff Pow's Island Skies. But I'm reading an article here dated the 26th September 2025 for the record.
Okay.
So there may be further updates since then.
Yeah, because I read what I read up about it after you would talk to me about it, but I haven't read anything since. So if there's new news, that'll be news to me.
Okay.
But no, let's jump to an easier topic because you seemed excited about this when I mentioned it in passing. I saw something in the past couple months where. There was an artist on Twitter that was doing art giveaways, and it's one of those, you know the type where they're like you have to like it and retweet it and then post share a PNG of your character in order to win. And they were saying they were noticing a bunch of people unfollow them after they didn't win. So one artist specifically said they started making a blacklist. Anybody that did this behavior where they joined for a raffle and then unfollowed after the raffle was over, blacklisted, and they're not allowed to participate in any of the raffles, or at least I guess their name gets filtered out. I don't know. I don't get the impression they're blocking them, but there was some blacklist on their end, so probably they take all of the raffle responses and then filter out the blacklist, which would make the most sense for the person running the raffle, but I don't know fully how they do that. Let me actually double check that one because I do have the tweet here. Because I marked my references. Yeah, it's all, it's always, it's always a good situation when the first sentence is, guys, I know this might be a little bit psychotic, but
hang on. Let me quickly sum up for the ADHDers in the audience. Basically, artist has put out a raffle for some art, and after the raffle has ended, a lot of people unfollowed, as you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's normal. However, this artist has decided to place the people who unfollow after the raffle has ended onto a like a ban list, or like you said, a blacklist, or like a mute list, something like that. And yeah, let's hear what have they got going on. What did they say?
So the full text of what they said is, guys, I know this might be a little bit psychotic, but I'm not playing around. I made it clear every giveaway that I'm not interested in supporting people who won't support me back. I really want to hold another one of these, but there were so many people who left after not winning. So I'm sorry, but you won't be allowed to participate in another one. If you try to delete your post, I saved it, plus your username, because I'm crazy. All right, bye. If it was a mistake, feel free to submit a ticket in my Discord to be unblocked. First time only. So they are blocking people. They're not... Okay. They're not. Right. They're not just making a filtering list, but it is still. It's sort of a crazy thing to do it that way, because like.
Yeah, blocking is kind of burning any kind of bridge that might have been there.
Like, yeah. Plus, also like
you don't even know the person.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like a lot of these raffles are designed in a way to help the artist who posted it grow and build their community. That's why they want you to like it. That's why they want you to retweet it. That's why they want you to follow. All of these are things that are supposed to make their account look good to the algorithm and help them grow. Make no mistake, they're trying to grow. Like that's why it is this way. Like it's designed, like you're not giving them money for a ticket. You're helping them get extra growth and reach. So
yes,
that's the implicit.
Art raffles are purely for growth reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a small number of those who do it for the enjoyment factor rather than the growth factor.
Yeah, but this person, the impression I got from them is once they notice they're expanding, or they're growing while the raffle's occurring, and then once the raffle's done, they retract a little bit. They don't say how much, but enough that they noticed and were bothered by it. And yeah, it's I mean, I certainly track who unfollows me. Like I have a report that comes in from the one site that I use that I do track who unfollows me. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Well, usually because I'll check I'll check accounts and I'm like, oh, this is one of those incredibly suspicious art commission accounts that unfollowed me because I didn't commission art from them. Yeah, of course. I'll just block them. Or a couple times I'll be notified that it's just like, yeah, an account unfollows you because they're suspended or banned or they deleted it. And it's like, yeah, no, good riddance. Very rarely am I blocking people because I don't like them. Because I know there was a VTuber that, a couple VTubers that I followed. I hung around them for a little bit. I didn't really like their vibe, so I unfollowed. And then I noticed like a couple weeks later they unfollowed me, and I'm like, sure, that's fine. Good, best wishes.
Why, Foxy, do you feel bad for the artist? You know, the artist meaning the person who is doing the raffle and then blacklisting people for unfollowing them.
Yeah,
that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I definitely saw people in the comments for this artist that were very supportive of her, but I mean my whole point of it is you're doing the raffle to give out free stuff. Like that's the point of it. Like you're giving free stuff to a small number of people, sometimes only just one, in exchange for everybody giving you growth.
Yes. I wondered where you were going there with what you were saying, but yeah, I agree. They did a free art and people who do not win get piercing unfollow. I don't think it's that. Are they not entitled to unfollow after not winning?
Yeah, so it's also a question of like how long after the raffle is over is it okay to unfollow? Because yeah, like at the end of the day, that person who followed them for the raffle, their only relationship with this artist is they wanted to win a raffle. So like, it's like going to McDonald's and ordering a meal, and you the like, in order to win some kind of prize there, you have to show up every day for a month, and then as soon as you're done, you stop showing up at McDonald's. Like it would be insane to get blacklisted from McDonald's for that. Like,
yeah.
It's a little nuts, and I mostly thought it was really controlling. I think when they like and retweet is enough. Yeah, that's kind of my opinion. Like, you're helping the artist, you are helping them grow, but the person who posted this, I got sort of a sense of entitlement, as well as like them kind of attempting to assert control over a situation that really they don't have control of.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like they're being controlling. They have this sense of entitlement of, you followed me for the raffle, now you're not allowed to leave. If you do, I'm gonna punish you. Yeah. And that's sort of weird. But I'm also the person who does unfollow artists when raffles are over, because I do have a list that I track. I'm like, yeah, this is a person I only followed for a raffle. And occasionally I'll go into that list and be like, okay, I have 3 accounts here. Do I actually care about this person other than that raffle I signed up for? And sometimes I keep them. But others I'm like, no, I joined them for the one thing that they did, and I'm done with that now.
Yeah. Kind of into that attitude punishment. Bucks, you're so sussy. Oh my gosh, sorry.
I would say Twitter is not the place for that, but that would probably be incorrect.
I think
Twitch is definitely not the place for the I like that attitude punish me. Twitch does not like that.
I want to go back to something you said, about the entitlement and taking control. I think I definitely agree with the entitlement, and I just want to touch on the control part. Like, yeah, you can't control who unfollows you, and of course, the biggest thing is, like, if someone unfollows you, do not take it to heart. It's not personal. It's just a case of them moving on, and okay, thank you for being here, and now best have a good life, kind of thing. When it comes to Twitter followers, I don't think it was very wise to be so vocal about this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The Twitter space, I guess. It's going to cause a lot of repercussions. You're going to face a lot of backlash. Like this. Hello, we are 2 people who don't even know you, and we are now talking about you.
Yeah, so, my only experience with this artist was, holy shit, they're making a blacklist because people unfollow them. Goodbye.
Yeah. You have breached containment and hit the stratosphere. You're now going to be the drama of the day, kind of deal. Congrats. You got the 15 minutes of fame that ultimately comes with anything controversial.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Boxy, you make a good point about
followed for the raffle. They weren't really a fan to begin with. Yes.
Yeah, and
true.
The impression I got from people responding to that post were like, I can't believe they would leave such an amazingly talented artist and they wouldn't stay because of all this beautiful, lovely art. And I'm like, this person did not know you before the raffle. Their only experience with you was regarding the raffle. That's all they know you for. That's all they care about for. A follow is not a relationship. Like, yeah, if somebody leaves
such a big thing. Follow is not a relationship.
Yeah, and that's kind of where this artist, I think, kind of lost the thread. Also, I didn't remember that it starts off with like, guys, I know this might be a little psychotic, but like, anytime you start a sentence, guys, I know this might be a little bit blank, but you are being blank. You are 100% being blank. Like, that's not even a judgment on this person. That is, yeah, if you start a sentence with those words, you are being the thing that you're like, guys, I don't mean to be blank. Let's go. You're being blank. Whatever blank is, that's exactly what you're being.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you and I are kind of vaguely on the same page, but we are getting some dissent from Foxy here, so... I've started sentences with, this might sound crazy, before. Yeah.
And I'm always like, no, it doesn't sound crazy at all. You also start sentences with, is it weird? And I'm like, no, it's not weird.
I let them finish that sentence before I confer that they aren't being weird, because I've met enough people on the internet that are profoundly weird, and my answer sometimes changes to, yeah, it's weird, but you're fine. We're all weird. Or sometimes I'm like, yeah, you're weird, and don't ever tell somebody that again. You will have a bad day.
That out to pin in chat because I think that's really important.
Yeah. We have differing perspectives, but we are not attacking people. Yeah. Except for this silly artist. We are attacking her. We are bullying her. We are being mean bullies.
I wouldn't say I'm bullying them because I'm not insulting the person.
Dan, I'm joking. We literally haven't even said their name.
I know. I realized it as soon as I finished.
You spoke up. As soon as you spoke up.
Making a joke.
But yeah, like
as it says there, hey, we, in our Dan and Dan chats, we talk on controversies and drama, and we may say things that you're not necessarily going to completely agree with, and that's okay. I think society can grow a lot by learning that we can be friends with people we don't agree on everything with. It's just all about respecting each other and having fun.
Yep, very true. But yeah, so this artist said this. I marked their stuff down, but I basically blocked them immediately because I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to see your stuff in the future if you're gonna behave this way, because you're too controlling for me. I don't even care, because that's one of those things where, like, even if they have good art and I would have commissioned them in the future for either personal or professional work, now they're not going to get any business from me at all because they stepped up and said something that didn't need to be said and tried to do something that didn't need to be done. Absolutely not some heresy. Some guy in space chair, probably. Yeah.
Absolutely not. That's heresy. Some guy in space. Oh. We're all a little crazy here, Foxy. Don't you worry.
But yeah, so that was my first bit of like VTuber and VTuber related news, because this is definitely somebody in that kind of space.
Why did we keep talking about my topic, Puff Pals? Why did we switch to this?
I don't remember. I think we started.
You interjected and changed the topic.
No,
I was saying about how this article is from September, and I don't know any further details since then.
I don't know why we transitioned.
It's fine.
Talk about Puff Pals then. Yeah.
So, Puff Pals Island Skies was a Kickstarter game that raised $75,000. But it was so popular. Their goal was 75,000, but it was so popular on Kickstarter, they ended up raising $2.6 million for the game.
That's a lot of money.
However, as of right now, the website for the game no longer exists. The backer refund requests are being ignored, and there have been multiple lawsuits rising up against the company, Fluff Nest, which is the company basically. I'm just checking.
Yeah, so what I had the notes here for is a big part of the issue they ran into was they started the Kickstarter about making a game, and then after they succeeded on the Kickstarter, they had some kind of thing for add-ons for the Kickstarter, for merch. And that's kind of where they started getting into real trouble, because they were basically continuing to raise money with more and more add-on purchases that kind of kept getting them into issues.
Yeah, so the Kotaku article I'm getting my information from does say that $75,000 is apparently not enough to even design and animate loading screens, let alone a whole game. It's a case of like the stretch goals became the place for them to get the main amount of money that they wanted for their game. Let's have a look. What happened was the developers behind the game started to reduce how often they were updating the game and feeding back to the community. and their excuse, how much money do they need? Well, their goal was $75,000. They raised $2.6 million.
Yeah, and 75 grand is, to be clear, not enough to make a game. The 2 point something million is enough to make a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot make a good game for 75 grand a year, or 75 grand.
Yeah.
That's no, you just can't.
So the original source, Mugen, revealed that the project, or just for the game itself, was $20 to get the game on release. But these add-ons, you could end up getting plushies, and these were the ones that were highly sought after, and they were like $40 for plushies. So the plushies were worth more than the game itself.
Yeah.
What they are saying here is that the alpha build kept getting delayed, and the milestones that were promised were not met at all in time, or just in general, and then the excuses were basically terrible.
Yeah.
Then
I saw something here where they said something about lying about what company was even making the game. Like they outsourced the game creation to another company, and like it seems like the people producing this were mostly focused on the shipping and merch business. It seemed that's kind of the impression I got from here. But Foxy says here, if a game asks for too little, the developers don't have a public record of games they made, or the project looks too ambitious and then it's a scam. Coming from someone who's seen many scams, it's just more of like, I've seen a bunch of Kickstarters where like somebody asks for money to make a game, and it's clearly just like, you can't make a game for that little money, not even an indie game, because like it helps, but like games are expensive. And if they're showing things that look like they should be like single A, double A, triple A quality games, but they're asking for $50,000 a year, or $50,000 for a Kickstarter, or $75,000, like that should be a red flag here. Like they're asking for way too little to do it.
I'm gonna open my own Kickstarter real quick and just give an example of some of the things I've backed and what they got overall.
It's funny, I do have a record of my Kickstarters here, though it's undelivered ones is what I actually marked.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm an X-Men Ventortis indie game that has been 10 years in the making and only has a demo. If you know, you know. Sumabox says you have a Kickstarter. I think he means his Kickstarter account. He's opening Kickstarter account. Yeah, he's opening Kickstarter.com, not actually like a Kickstarter to make something.
I do not have a Kickstarter myself at all. No. So,
notorious indie game that's been in dev for 10 years and there's only a demo. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be one of the ones on my list, because I did a couple ones. I was a lot more active on Kickstarter.
Which one that is,
like
Foxy?
10 years ago. Yeah, let us cook a little bit, Foxy, and let us know if we nail it, or otherwise I am curious about which one that you're mentioning.
So I'm going to give a quick example of something I backed earlier this year, and I'm in the Discord for and checking for updates on and everything. So there's a game here that wanted $20,000 to make a visual novel.
Okay, that's doable. It's a little bit tight, but it's doable.
They ended up raising $86,000.
Ooh, good for them.
In total. It's very much a case of it's very much a case of like they hit all their goals they're happy with, but I'm seeing like actual updates in the Discord and on their social media. So they are announcing who the voice actors are, they are doing voice actor callings, they are having those who have backed at a certain tier are able to vote on what voices suit the looks of the characters and such like that. So we're actually listening
that's a good offering.
Voice actors, what they called,
like their auditions,
I guess.
Auditions.
Oh yeah, audition tape or whatever. And we're voting on like, oh yeah, this sounds better for this character, or this suits this character, that kind of thing. And we're giving feedback to those voice actors as well, which is amazing, and I love that. Fluff, sorry, forgot the name of this bloody terrible game.
Puff Pals: The Island Skies.
Yeah, they they did not do any of that. They would update every 6 months with basically a screenshot of some kind of work in progress and just be like, we're working so hard, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, from the article you sent me, it really sounded like the shipping and merch business is what failed. Like they were pulling in a bunch of money for that and then kind of lost their shirt over it. And it's not even what the Kickstarter was for, but they still lost stuff there. Yeah,
I'm not sure what game that is.
Yeah, I don't actually know that one, Foxy.
Developer makes sense calling his haters trolls.
Let me go through a couple of my failed Kickstarters that.
I believe you failed Kickstarters. I just want to say that before you do that, I think every single all but one succeeded for me.
Oh, I've been on that site for more than 10 years, so I've had a lot of failed Kickstarters that either that didn't get their funding or got their funding but didn't deliver. So there's a couple of them. But yeah, there's like an overall culture for Kickstarter, and they definitely have that policy of like Kickstarter backing doesn't guarantee a delivered project. It's very much like Kickstarter being like, don't sue us, sue the people running the project. And there's sort of an overall like grifter culture for the internet that's gotten worse over time. But Kickstarter was definitely like, there was an error when that was a big thing. So here's some of the undelivered Kickstarters that I had. Good bot.
You haven't yeah.
So I have one here for should I mention the names of these ones? You know what, actually I will mention the names because all of these are more than 10 years derelict. So it's fine. So the first one is something called Dungeon Panic. The estimated delivery date was March of 2013. Game project was last updated January 1st, 2021. But effectively the last real update was December of 2015. And I remember, but I couldn't find and verify, some update from the creator where they basically said, like, they hired a game dev, that game dev ran off, they hired a second game dev, that game dev quit, and they just drank the rest of the Kickstarter money away. And the game's not going to happen. And it's just...
Right.
That was a person who made webcomics, was trying to turn their webcomics into a video game, and they mismanaged that project and were probably just awful to work with. I later found out that like they helped like make a website for like a bunch of indie comic artists to do stuff on, and literally got kicked out of the project that they invented because they were so toxic to work with. Oh yeah, they were real bad.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Another one, Blood Kiss. It was a film.
Blood Kiss.
It was supposed to be delivered August of 2014. It starred it was supposed to be written by the same guy behind a bunch of like old like animated shows, like that old Gargoyles TV show, who's a really famous like writer. Neil Gaiman was attached to this, though he's a bit of a not good person these days. He was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Film project. It was last updated in December of 2018, 4 years after it was supposed to be delivered, and the creator behind it actually passed away in March of 2023. So we're never getting this, but like, yeah, it's a situation just like, yeah, it's never going to happen. It's never going to occur. And they are 10 years late to deliver a film by a guy who passed away 2.5 years ago. So it's a shame. Here's a big one. Mega Tokyo visual novel. The webcomic Mega Tokyo did a Kickstarter for a visual novel, was supposed to be delivered February of 2014. Last update for the project was July of 2017. There have been no further updates from the creator. No updates in 8 years. Certainly makes things like Silk Song be such a much better story than like things like this that just there's no updates for 8 years and this person just disappeared.
That
I mean, that creator in general has just taken a big step back, because I think they stopped being, they mostly stopped working on their webcomic, because their webcomic was supposed to be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday updates, and they dropped it back to like once a week, once every couple of weeks, maybe once or twice a month. I think they're mostly just being a dad now. But still, they took people's money and they're sure as heck not giving it back. Another one here, a video game called Soul Saga. Estimated delivery date of July 2014. It was supposed to be a JRPG, but the last time the Kickstarter was updated was February of 2020. The game has changed genres multiple times during its development, and it had a Steam Early Access publication of February 25th, 2020, which I think with a pretty bad score in there too, because it's basically an alpha or beta build that has not gotten any updates. So yeah, this Kickstarter ain't ever getting finished. And then I have one here that I'm not mentioning by name. I just have it classified as miscellaneous photography project.
Okay.
So it was somebody doing a photography project. I actually did get the photos they promised, but I backed at a higher level. And they were supposed to be holding a gallery show for the people in that higher level to have them come in and see a gallery, like a photo gallery of this project. Last update for this project was September of 2018. There has been no gallery. So the creator fulfilled the main project, but not the stretch goals.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to put them on blast because they did do other stuff, but at this point, even if they had a gallery, I wouldn't go because I'm just like, I'm not who I was 10 years ago, and I don't care about this project anymore. They had some reasons and justifications, like they did
have reasons.
Yeah, there was some life stuff that went on, but it's hard to justify like, oh, life got busy when it's 10 years later. Like, I don't give a shit if life got busy. It's been 10 years. Fulfill your obligations. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your reasons are. It's 10 years. So, yeah. But those were the ones I had here. Yeah, I'm in general, I'm a lot less active on Kickstarter these days than I used to, just because of some of these projects that burned me. I've had a lot of them that have worked out. I think I've had more positive ones than negatives, but currently I'm waiting for some D&D books from one project that I backed. They were supposed to be delivered last year in 2024. Hey, Sleepy.
Hey, Sleepy, welcome in.
The D&D books were supposed to be delivered in sometime in 2024, but they ran into delays. Basically, it's funny. They started the one project to publish a book, like a D&D manual book, but they realized early on into it that they just wrote too much. The guy working on it is effectively just a workaholic, so he produced too much. So they're splitting it into two books. Everybody who ordered the first book is getting both. Then they did a second Kickstarter for just the second book to raise money for the double project. Then they did a third Kickstarter for a third book with nothing delivered yet, and I didn't back that one because I'm like, okay, this is getting to be a bit much, guys. As last I checked, they haven't delivered any of them because of the U.S. tariff laws and crap that happened this year that have made shipping such a nightmare.
Thank you, Sleepy.
But they did recently start doing a like backer kit thing for physical copies of some new D&D content that they made this year, and they're doing that to help raise funds both for these things which are they said they're already done. There's no development wait. It's done. It's ready to print. It's good to go. But basically, this fundraiser is to help offset tariff prices for shipping the other projects. So they're basically doing projects to pay off other projects, to pay off other projects, to pay off other projects. So they're getting real deep into a turducken now. They haven't burned bridges with me yet, but I'm squinting at them real suspiciously because this is sort of a mess, and they definitely had a lot of like feature creep into their stuff that I'm like, come on, man, just keep it in scope and get it done.
What's feature creep?
That's when you keep adding new things to it. It's what happened to Silksong, because Silksong was supposed to be like a DLC section, and it turned into a full game because they kept adding more and more features to it.
And then they realized, we're just gonna make a whole new game
and take forever and not talk to people about it. But no, this group has actually been incredibly communicative, so much so that when I went back in and checked, like, hey, wait, did they actually tell people that if you order the one book, you get the second one for free because you've technically paid for it already?
Christy's being so cute. Give me a second. Baby, I love you.
Hi, kitty.
Sorry. Okay.
That's fine. But yeah, so they're not in grifting territory yet. If they keep pushing things down the road and keep doing new Kickstarter projects to offset old Kickstarter projects, that's going to be a little bit suspicious, because it's, you know, there's a point where, like,
I think
you have to just put out the stuff you
should
made.
not start a new Kickstarter until your previous one has finished fully, completely.
I would give them a little bit of flack for this one, for that second one, because they're literally like, hey, the first project was so big, we can't do it in one book, we have to do it in two, and we don't have the funds to ship 2 books. So we're doing a second project for people who want to get the second book and missed out on the first one, and you can order the first book as like an add-on to the second Kickstarter. So they basically ran the same Kickstarter twice, effectively. And anybody who had the first one already did not need to back the second one. You already were getting the stuff, because as far as they were concerned, you already paid for it. But the third one, I'm like, you should not be starting a third Kickstarter if you have 2 undelivered Kickstarters. Don't do that. Which is why I didn't back the third one. But yeah, there is a limit where, like, people try and, like, juggle too many things all at once, and then it's very easy to have it blow up in your face. And no one can predict the future. Nobody knew what was going to happen with the tariffs this year for the US. And yeah, like they pushed that project a little bit down the road, because, like, yeah, no, it's 2025. There shouldn't be any major issues. And then there's Trump good old Freedom Day, where he adds a 20% tariff or worse to everybody, and it's like, Jesus, no. So, but yeah, there's a lot of grifting culture out there. There's a lot of bad people on the internet, and you got to just be careful with yourself. So.
That was a good topic, though.
That was a good
Thank
topic.
you for raising that. Yeah.
I didn't raise it. That was yours. That was That was
I
your
mean,
topic.
I kind of feel like we went from Fluffy Pals, whatever it was, to Kickstarter in general. But yeah.
Yeah, I try to do that with, like, topics we bring up. It's not just, like, the one thing. Like, I'm not just, like, even with the giveaway one, it's not about that one person. It's about that mindset and that kind of perspective on things of, like, you are not entitled to a follow. Do not attempt to control people who are following you. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And that's my takeaway from that. For Puff Pals, it's like, this is a Kickstarter thing, and here's all the things they did, and suspicious Kickstarter stuff. Here's things with the overall Kickstarter culture that, like, grifters and people, like, doing things that they never end up delivering. And yeah, there is something to talk about there.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So I guess it would be my turn for a topic now.
Sure, go ahead. What do we got?
All right, let's actually segue from Kickstarter and undelivereds to something that's related, and actually a bit of hot news. I actually just saw this come up in an hour before this stream happened. An artist I follow on social media got called out because she is super late with commissions. Like,
hang on, let me change music real quick. What we got? Let's go for this one.
Yep. So this artist was accused of taking a commission in January. The commission was $330, and it is not delivered yet. And apparently, January of this year. So it's 12 months later, and this person might only have gotten the sketch, and that's it. And
okay, I understand this year has been abnormally difficult for a lot of us.
mm-hmm.
I would be hesitant to judge or critique too harshly without knowing the details of their life. You know, they may have been losing loved ones left or right. They might be an artist who's in the midst of, like, a war. So, like, there's all those riots going on in is it the Philippines?
They're around a lot of places, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of riots going on in certain countries, little civil wars still breaking out. And just international wars as well. Russia. And I just, yeah, like I said, I'm hesitant to judge yet.
So let me give some of the details here on this. So the person who who called them out said they commissioned this person on January 9th. It's a multi-pose sketch page, which was $330. And I know this is the right price because I have seen it for this artist. And unfortunately, I can't share the artist's information with you, Dan, because they've already locked their Twitter account. Because, of course, they did. People are pissed at them.
Well, yeah, I would protect myself as well.
Yeah, but basically they said after January 9th, and after them paying the full price up front on the same day, they did not receive a communication from the artist until March 11th, when they received a DM reply with the artist saying that they were busy. The next communication was April 22nd. They were working on multi-pose art and a doodle of something else that this person had commissioned months earlier, before this sketch page. So this person had 2 jobs with the artist that weren't done, but both would be done Friday if all went well. No communication again until May 21st. So the artist is saying April 22nd that these things should be done on Friday. Welcome back, Foxy. Artist is saying on April 22nd that the work should be done on Friday, but this person doesn't hear back again until May 21st. And basically said they'll be done by the end of the week.
Client constantly chasing this person up.
It's sounding like it now. Because they gave them time to work on it until April, when I
just think it's
because basically here
you don't log what you're doing as well in posts like this.
Oh, they are. There's screenshots of them pinging the artist constantly for updates. But basically they're saying
we're talking about an artist who still has not finished a commission that was
somebody accused an artist of scamming them because they basically took a couple $100 for a commission and then never delivered it. So basically, yeah, they kept kicking the ball down the road, saying they'll send a sketch later in the morning, they'll send a sketch later on other stuff. You know, so this person's following up with the artist at this point like every month or every other month.
I wouldn't even be doing that. Why are you letting them take months? I'd be messaging them daily, going, "Hey, if we reached May and our commissioned you in January for something you said was going to take a month or 2 to do, I'm messaging you every single day in May, going, any updates? Any updates? This is starting to feel like a scam. What's going on?"
Yeah. So
and
here,
I will not hide this. I have done this to someone. I have been this brutally honest with them, and they are a dear friend still. I'm not gonna say their name.
Obviously,
it took multiple months for me to get the finished product after being told it was done, 2 months prior.
Yeah.
And I had to basically go to the point of being like, I might just ask for a refund at this point because you've taken too long, and I have given you plenty of time and chances. So, and even then, that didn't work. You know what worked?
Issuing the chargeback?
No, going to the person they're dating. Who's also a friend.
Oh shit!
I had to go to them because I'd again, no one knows any names, but I'd gone into said partner's chat and seen that multiple occasions the artist was in their chat chatting away. Makes sense, they're dating, perfectly fine. But when I then message on social media to them about the commission, I wouldn't get a response for it would go about a few weeks, and I'd be like, okay, I'm being ignored then at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I eventually got so exhausted and it was stressing me out so much, I went to the partner and said, hey, look, can you poke artist about the commission we have, because it's now been X amount of time and I'm worried that this is a scam. Yeah. And then I got it within 24 hours.
Grabbed him by the short hairs. I like it.
I hate that I had to do that.
It sucks to have to do it, but yeah, this person's basically saying they were sending stuff every couple of weeks to this person to basically try and get updates, try to get things. They said at this point now, all they've gotten is a rough sketch after nearly 6 months, and that's all they ever received. The TOS for this artist says that you should get the work in 1 to 3 months. Finished work in 1 to 3 months. So this artist is way past due. The artist is responding by basically saying that they're going to just refund all of their current commissions. Everybody, regardless of commission status, if it's not done, they're getting a refund, a full refund, which is correct. That is a good thing for that artist to do. And she's basically saying that she took on more than she could take care of. She was trying to pay down debt. And she's having a lot of problems there. But also, like, from looking at her account, she doesn't say it here, but I know in the past she was basically like, she's 19, 20 years old. She's a kid. Like, she's a legal adult, but she's a kid. And she's also somebody, like, I backed her on Patreon for about a month, and I'm like, she's not consistent with her work here. She doesn't post stuff every month, even small things. Like, there were red flags on this. So, like, I ended up quote retweeting the call out post. I'm like, I'm sad to see it, but I'm not surprised by this. I love that artist's work and supported them on Patreon for a month, but it's pretty clear to me they didn't have the skills needed to manage their freelance and content creation workloads. I'm glad she's given refunds to all pending orders, but the experience is really going to have a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and justifiably so. Chas Tango, thank you so much for the follow. But then I continue by basically saying, if you're working with somebody, here are red flags to keep an eye out for. 1, only pay them via an invoice or a payment for goods and services. Do not ever pay for an order as friends and family or pay them as a bank transfer. Doesn't matter what their justification is. If they're worried about chargebacks, that just means people have given them chargebacks in the past, and probably for a good reason. Also, they're probably breaking payment processes TOS by asking for business payments to be sent via friends and family. That is against most payment processors' terms of service. 2, don't pay for something full price upfront if it's not going to be started in months. Like, either ask to defer the payment until it's started or pay in installments. Anybody asking for a full payment fee as the down payment or to reserve your slot, that's a red flag. Like, I'm not paying full price to reserve a slot. I'm paying full price to get a thing. 2, have hard deadlines and don't let someone move them, especially if it puts you past the point where you could issue a chargeback. If somebody can't make their deadline and you've already paid, do the chargeback. Especially if you haven't received anything, because
thanks, Tango.
I said here, and if you haven't received any work or only minimal work, start reaching out before the chargeback deadline. Don't wait till the last minute, because if they ghost you or start giving you excuses, just do the chargeback. Like, somebody who has 5 months to deliver something and only gave you a sketch is not going to magically finish a high quality illustration in the final month. It'll be rushed if it's finished at all. So basically, like, I'm all for protecting artists. I love the work they do. But I have come across some really shit artists in my time, and some of them are fantastic at creating things, but terrible at running a business. Yeah, exactly, Box. I like art. I don't always like the people who make it.
Box.
But yeah, I actually had one commission. I think I talked about it during the last Data Dan, that I actually had to issue a chargeback on VGen, because it was somebody that I commissioned them in April. They marked it as work in progress in May, and it was due at the end of July. And they missed their deadline.
Wait. April to July?
April to July.
What was it for?
A website. I was asking for them to make me a links website, like a card website.
Right.
So it shouldn't take that long.
Designing what? The background art and
just making the whole thing for me. It's basically they were gonna make the whole thing and then transfer it to me. Transfer ownership. Because there is a market for that. Because I just didn't want to do it myself. I could, but I just didn't want to.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, there's a market for it. But basically, so they missed the first deadline. I tried to message them, never got a response. Reached out to VGen, who basically sent the artist a warning and gave me a deadline of like, they're gonna get back to you by 5 o'clock on Friday, or we will do the refund. And they got to me back. The artist got back to me at 4 o'clock on Friday, promising me an update by the end of the week, and asking for a 1-month extension. I never. No. That's the last thing I heard from that artist. I did approve the extension because it was still within the 6 months for a chargeback, but Sure enough, the deadline for the extension came by. The artist never messaged me again. I messaged them, got no response, reached out to VGen again, and they just immediately gave me my money back. Because this artist just fucked off, and whatever was happening in their personal life, they just couldn't handle commissions.
Was the chargeback through VGen payments? Is that how you?
No, I actually did it through PayPal, because I paid through PayPal, and basically the way that
they still gave you the money back.
They did. They basically said it's against VGen's terms of service to do this, but we will allow it because of the circumstances. So you issue the chargeback, let us know the transaction fee, and when it comes through on our end, we will say we do not dispute this. This is valid, and that's what happened. Basically, it just went through that way.
Speaking of art, Box once commissioned an animation sketch. And the artist took so long to finish it, they actually forgot it was supposed to just be a sketch, and they made it fully rendered.
Nice,
fully
Boxy.
rendered animation sketch. Wow.
Nice.
Ooh.
But
that's the thing. I find there are certain artists out there that when you go to them, they are like, "Wow, I really love this idea you've got. Is it all right if I just go with this kind of idea and see what comes out of it?" And I'm always like, "Yes, do it." Like, for example, there's one person whose commission started today, actually, that I've commissioned. And they have said, like, they really like the design of my cat, like, of me as a VTuber.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they're really excited to get started on it. So I'm just like, yeah.
Nice.
Honestly, I'm excited. I love about VGen is that they actually seem to care about artists and customers. Yes, they do.
Yeah, I agree, Foxy. I actually had a dispute with an artist one time because I gave them I was unhappy with the work. I gave them a negative rating, and VGen reached out to me because the artist went to them and like, hey, this person thinks you didn't give them a fair rating. And rather than just unilaterally agreeing with the artist, they actually talked to me. And I'm like, well, I had an issue with this artist delivering poor quality work in the past. Here's the mistakes they made on this piece. It was a skeb, and I thought I couldn't change it because it's a skeb. Also, after I gave them a negative rating, they really treated me poorly in their Discord community. Here's screenshots from Discord. And VGen came back. Oh yeah, this is why I don't use my 2.0 model anymore. This is that story. But basically, I sent the screenshots and stuff to VGen of what happened in Discord. They got back to me about a week later. They were pretty busy around that time of year, because that was right when they changed their policy on you can't have too many commissions open at a given time, or too many commissions late. And people were freaking out about that, so there was a lot going on. But they got back to me a week later, like, we're so sorry, it took a week. I'm like, no, that's fine. But basically, their determination at the end was, they sympathized with my situation with what the artist did and the fact that she didn't do the commission well. But the artist's terms of service said that I could ask for changes if there was something wrong, and I didn't. So they're like, okay, so the artist is willing to make the changes if you're willing to change the rating. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't trust them to make the changes. I'm unhappy with them. I don't want to work with them again. And they're like, well, in that case, are you okay with us just wiping the rating off of both of you? You gave them a rating and they gave you a rating. Can we just neutralize both of them? And I'm like, I'm okay with that. That is acceptable to me, because it's effectively them going, okay, you the commissioner did wrong here because you didn't follow the artist's terms of service, but we also acknowledge the artist is not innocent in this mess either, because the artist did some stuff that wasn't okay. And it's funny, actually.
External.
Yeah, they did. They threw a 40-minute tantrum in their Discord about me giving them 3 out of 5 stars, and one of their artist friends who helped them ran that Discord dropped my name as the client in general chat. Oh yeah, it was real bad. It was real bad. It was so bad that basically, like, I sent them an apology the day that it happened and said that, like, I was going to walk away from the internet for a couple of days and clear my head and come back. And I came back to a really pissy message from the artist that basically took no responsibility for delivering a shit commission. And I just blocked all of them on all of my socials, like, so aggressively. I've never talked to them again. Though I do occasionally look them up and see what's going on, and I did see the artist whining about my commission about like, oh yeah, I had one Skeb commission with a VTuber that was so bad I don't take Skeb commissions anymore. I'm like, yeah, you're just sit there with your victim complex, have fun with that. The fact that you haven't made it as an artist in these past several years has everything to do with the fact that you can't keep commissioned clients around because you keep delivering subpar work. Her work is just shit. She leaves too many mistakes in it. She cuts corners. She half-asses the job. She has a close cadre of people that are regular commissioners who kiss the ground.
Let's not turn this into a bashing. Otherwise,
no, I'm mad about this person, but I will. They have a close group of people who cover their back, but they can't keep regular clients around, and I think that shows in time. But yeah, God, how do we get? Oh, right, commission stuff. Yeah. But yeah, this basically the artist today who had the blow up thing today. She just took too much work. She couldn't get it all done, and she kept juggling stuff rather than just owning up to the fact that she couldn't get anything. She couldn't get it all done.
Right.
And you need to be careful with that. So it's basically like you're running a business. When you're doing anything like this, you're running a business, and if you can't like keep your business deadlines, you shouldn't be running a business. Because Foxy said that earlier, is that like I don't take commissions because I don't what did they say specifically? It was Foxy, right? I don't do commissions because art block is a bitch and I don't want to disappoint people. And that is incredibly mature of them, and that is the way that people should handle it. But people are like, I need to make rent this month and this is the only way I can make rent. So they take the work and they keep kicking that ball down the road, and it has bitten a lot of people in the ass in the last 5 years as art commissioning has gotten more and more popular online.
Yeah, it has. It's gotten to the point now that art commissioning has kind of exploded, but it's like oversaturated now, whereas I would say about 10 years ago it was more niche.
I think that's fair, yeah. Because there were fewer people, but the work was high quality, and the community was small enough that if somebody was a problem, you could hear about it. Now, like things happen, and you're just like, oh, I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, hang on. We got a message in chat. To plan commissions because it takes me a lot of time to gather my motivation to draw game. It can take months. Yeah, like I think it goes back to what Foxy was saying about artist block, and you can get ADHD burnout, and you can just get general burnout as well, and like, yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes back a little bit to like what we were saying about Kickstarters is you should not make a new Kickstarter until you finish the old one. Or there is a threshold of like only juggle so many projects at one time, and if you're crossing a threshold, stop taking new projects. You have to do that until you finish some stuff. And that was an issue both for Kickstarter stuff as well as art commissions. So
yes.
Let's go.
But yeah, great topic. Thank you for bringing that here.
So, did you have another one besides the Game Awards?
Maybe, I'm not sure. No, I don't.
Okay. I've got a couple more here.
Feel free to jump into your next one.
I can kind of segue this a little bit from the commission one and don't take on too much work. So I'm going to have a little bit of a conversation about self-care. And
important.
This ties into a bit of VTuber news we talked about earlier this year, that at least that everybody should know about. The dreaded Cinder situation. Now, we're not going to dig into what happened in April, and we're not really even going to dig into the 1,000-page Google Docie that she dropped this autumn. But there was something she said on the first page of the doc, that when everything happened on April 26th, when the cancellation occurred, she had been up for nearly 48 hours that day when this stuff started coming in. She is one of the most successful VTubers in the English space. She's easily top 100, probably top 50, maybe even top 20 in the entire English VTuber space. And she's up
English VTubers, yes.
Yeah, and she's up for 2 days straight.
Did she say why?
No, she's up that long.
Oh, well, that could be, you know.
I get the impression. I get the impression from all of the people I've seen talk about VTubing that like there's a lot of bad sleep schedules. There's a lot of people overworking themselves or being workaholics and just burning themselves out, going a long time without breaks, and it produces this kind of very, very competitive environment where everybody's just running as hard as they can, as fast as they can, for as long as they can. And it's not surprising we're seeing a lot of people burning out and crashing out this year with trying to maintain that kind of pace. And like, self-care is insanely important as an adult, especially as you get older, because like it's one thing to kind of pull that stuff in your 20s. Like most people have had times in college or university where they pull an all-nighter, and that's fine. You can bounce back from that. But if that's your standard day, if your standard day is all-nighters every day, or you know, like in the case here where does she only sleep every other day? Like that's...
She might have insomnia. We don't know her health conditions.
We don't, but I'm not willing to give her that breadcrumb of, oh, it's probably just insomnia. I'm like, it's probably she's a workaholic and that she doesn't have a good work-life balance in her life. At least she didn't at the time.
Or she was trying to do damage control because she got wind this was coming and so was so anxious she couldn't sleep.
She got blindsided. She completely got blindsided by it when it happened. Okay. But like, there's a lot of VTubers that have talked about like being up long hours or crazy stuff. So just self-care is ludicrously important. Make sure you get something good to eat for yourself on a regular basis. Daily, preferably. Like, I know we all order out from time to time. Heck, I ordered food before this collab. I ordered a hot roast beef au jus sandwich and a cup of chili.
Oh.
And it's tasty and delicious. I could use more vegetables in my diet. I probably should go have some yogurt or like an applesauce after this is done. But you know what? I had my sandwich, I had my chili, and it was good. But like, people don't eat well in this space. People don't sleep enough in this space. Ordered a small chicken bucket.
Hell yeah, Bob.
We love chicken.
We love chicken. Chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Chicken pops. Chicken strips.
But it's... Chicken. I have a long-standing opinion about the VTubing space that the type of work ethic you need and the type of work that you need to do to make it in this space is different, and the skills you need are different once you're already here and established. It's basically the difference between like running a sprint versus running a marathon. Because when you're small, and it makes sense, when you're small and you're younger, like it makes sense. Yeah, work long hours, stay up late, drink a lot of caffeine, go. But as you get older, like your body just can't do that anymore, and you're bigger, so you need to delegate work to other people. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, this is why you're sweating about this one. Like
I'm not sweating. I'm just like as soon as I left uni, I stopped a lot of things. Caffeine gone out my life. Don't have it anymore. Energy drinks gone out my life. I just can't have them anymore. I mean, I enjoyed the taste of them. Don't get me wrong, they're really tasty, but I know if I have one, it will impact me the next day and for probably the entire week. I think it's sometimes we talk about like self-care, but sometimes it's willpower as well. Like having the willpower to stop certain destructive behaviors.
Yeah, it's effectively we build bad habits and then needing to break those bad habits, and that is difficult and challenging. Yes.
100%. Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot that goes on in that Google document, because it is 1,000 pages, and I have actually read it as well as watched somebody's video summarizing it, which laughably that summarization video is 6 hours long. It's a beefy document.
6 hours long.
Yeah, that's Mugen actually. the guy you mentioned earlier, Mugen. He
Right.
he did a video on this. But like that page one thing, I remember the first time when I was reading it where she talked about being up for 2 days straight before this stuff hit. And that's kind of blindsided her, and she basically just couldn't deal with it then because she had to go to sleep because she literally couldn't deal with it. And like there are a number of times like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll turn on my computer and I'll bring up my browser and I'll bring up all my old tabs and I'll pop open Twitch and I will see people that have been streaming all night long, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12-hour streams, and I'm like, you do this every day.
That's a job. That's a job for them though. But it's like,
but like I work a 9 to, well, not even a 9 to 5. I like in America the reference for a job is a 9 to 5, which is an 8-hour day. My job makes me work basically an 8 to 5, which is a 9-hour day. Which is 40 hours a week plus an hour lunch. These people are pushing even harder than that. Like they don't have a work-life balance. They don't have a good sleep schedule. They don't have healthy eating habits. And it doesn't surprise me that this space, VTubing itself, burns people out because if you're trying to push yourself that hard for that long without proper care, you're going to break the same way anything would. Like we are beautiful stardust souls wandering the world, but we're also a biological machine, and that will break the same way any machine will if you don't respect it and treat it right.
yes. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, don't want to get into the Cinder Docky itself. That news is both a little outdated, though Dan seemed to not be familiar with it after when we were chatting beforehand. You've done a very good job of filtering that out of your life. Good job.
It's more of a case of my Hashimoto's disease ruins my memory, and I don't remember things from the day before, and so.
That might be the case. But yeah, it's that is old news. It's a couple of months old, and I've already seen people scream at each other to death on the internet over this thing. I don't want to dig into it too much. But that, like I said, that first page where she was talking about just being up for 2 days straight made me think about self-care and healthy work-life boundaries that we often see skipped in life in general, but definitely in the VTubing space where people just work and work and work and work, and they have no life outside of this job. Reminds me of an old quote I ran across that says, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Let's go.
All they have is money. Yeah, because I see now what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Like, because you ignore or neglect relationships because you're trying to get money. You ignore your life and your relationship. You don't have hobbies. You don't do things for fun.
You have no life outside of what you're doing in your room, basically.
Yeah, and that's not healthy.
No, that's not.
So I had 2 more topics, but did we want to jump over and do a bit of stuff about the Game Awards now?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah.
I know you've done a video on this already. Those watching, please go check out Deuscain on YouTube.
Thank you.
Deuscain VODs, sorry, I should say, on YouTube.
I will share my link. Hopefully Nightbot shares over to your side.
It has, yes.
Yay.
Hi Mira, welcome in, Sleepy Brain.
Hi Mira. Game Award need more categories. We will get to that, Foxy. That is on my list for Game Awards criticism.
Get to it. Yes, it does need more categories. Okay, it does.
So here's a question for you, Dan, and you can think about this a little bit. What categories would you add? Because definitely like people were pointing that out for like the Game Awards could use some more categories because like for genres they really have like RPG, action, adventure, and not a lot else, like family games, indie games. Like there's a very small number of categories for genres specifically, so I would like to see them add some more of those. Specifically, the ones I was interested in were best platformer, because I feel like those games have been around for a very long time and could cover a number of things. Also, best horror, because there's always horror games that go up in these award shows, and they always completely get screwed out of other awards. There should be a best horror game. Like there's so many good ones out there. Make a best horror category.
I agree.
Because that's good. But also the one I remember seeing somebody talk about was in a different award show, but is not in the Game Awards, best supporting actor. Because they have best actor or voice actor, but they don't have a supporting role. And basically dropping it, excluding it to only like the main characters, kind of limits the celebration of the people who bring these games to life. So yeah, let's give best supporting actor. Those are my three. Best platformer, best horror, and best supporting actor. Roguelike category, that could be useful. I don't know if there's enough roguelikes that come out, because I was kind of joking with the people that I was talking about this about, like, I don't expect some categories to be like best bullet hell game, because I don't know if there's enough bullet hell games that come out in a year. Roguelike might have enough. That's a maybe for me. I don't know if there's enough that I would say best roguelike, but that is a pretty good genre. But there are a ton of platformers out there. And horror is absolutely should be a category.
I agree, horror should be a category. I think we should separate, or at least add, best adventure game instead of just action adventure, because there are, games out there that aren't action adventures but are adventure games. I also think we should have some kind of wholesome or coziness category, like best solo game even. Because if we're having best esports and best multiplayer,
there is
the best solo game.
There is a best multiplayer category, so I can agree with that. Best solo game, best single player. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're right. I just brought up the categories here. There is best action game and best action adventure game, but otherwise
there's no adventure.
Yeah, there's no adventure standalone. But for the categories they have best indie, best mobile, best VR. I'm listing them for chat. Best action,
if you want to know them,
best adventure, best RPG, best fighting, best family. They have a long one for strategy and sim. They have sports and racing, and then multiplayer.
That's another thing I disagree with. Why is there not best JRPG? Like, yeah, sure, we've got best RPG, but I want to specifically showcase the talent of the Japanese RPG community. That's where the Atari and consoles like that came from. Sony is inherently Japanese.
I don't know if I agree with you with best JRPG, but I think RPG is good enough for me. But I also see sometimes where people like wedge stuff in there that I don't agree with. Like Elden Ring was in best RPG. I think that's clearly an action adventure game.
Yes, that's an action adventure game. That's not an RPG.
Yeah, like it has RPG mechanics. It has levels. Yeah, you have levels and stuff.
Level up. That does not mean it's an RPG.
Yeah. Though it's funny because people were talking about Expedition 33 and calling it not an RPG because they disliked that it won that category. And I'm like, no, it's like the same system that they have for Metaphor ReFantasio. It's a turn-based combat with menu-driven selections. Like it's an RPG. It 100% is. But people like the fact that I think it was a bunch of people I saw for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I think was the game. And they're like, yeah, you can actually roleplay in this one and like make choices that modify the narrative and change the story. And I'm like, okay, like I get what you're saying, but like that doesn't inherently make it an RPG. Like there's a lot of JRPGs that don't do that. Metaphor ReFantasio and Persona 5, you don't really change the story, but no one's trying to argue that those games aren't RPGs. Foxy said Expedition 33 deserved to win the awards it did. I've not played it, but it looks amazing. I did play it. You know what? Funny thing, Expedition 33, I actually disagree with some of the ones that it won. I do agree with it for many of them, but the two categories I remember specifically that I did not vote for Expedition 33. I did not have it as my winner for best art direction, I had Silksong for that, because I liked the art direction in Silksong. And for best audio design, I had Silent Hill F, because Silent Hill F is an atmospheric horror game, and you can't really do atmospheric horror without really, really good audio design. And it's so important to make that genre pop, and they didn't have it. Silksong should have won more. Silksong, I think, won more than I thought it would, because I put it as my favorite for action, adventure, and art direction. What did it actually get? Who are the winners? Let me see.
I gotta say, best multiplayer should not have won what it did.
Let me do all the categories. Who was best multiplayer? Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders was the one.
I'm gonna get hate from that community now that you said that. How could you do this to me?
I mean, I voted Night Raid personally. I didn't even know what Arc.
Peak should have won best multiplayer.
Peak was a good one. Yeah.
It changed the entire game genre entirely and swept the entire internet for months, and still is now. It's still around now. Whereas Arc Raiders is just another shooter.
Yeah, that's fair. But no.
Which Dan do you agree with, Box? Because there's two Dans here. This is how we get you, okay? We do a Dan and Dan chat, so that someone's like, "I disagree, Dan," or "I agree, Dan." We're always like, "Which Dan do you agree with?"
Which Dan got it right? Who's your favorite?
me, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't. I feel like Arc Raiders shouldn't have won. It came in far too late in the game. And it was fresh in everyone's minds, and that's why it won. Is how I feel. I don't feel it won on its merits. I think it won based on popularity. That is ultimately what this is, though. I said it so many times before.
Oh my god, award shows are always a popularity contest, because even if it's
popularity contest,
well, everything is like, it's even elections. Like political elections are a popularity contest. The most popular person wins.
Not.
The most popular person
from when they're rigged.
Yeah, but it's still yeah. But no, best audio design is Battlefield 6. No, I don't agree with that.
How did they win best audio design?
Fuck if I know. Best action adventure was Silksong. Best action game was Hades 2. I agree with both of those.
I'm happy with games for impact. I mean, I'd have been happy if, honestly, all of them won. I think they all did amazing with regards to, like, the impact that they've brought along. So yeah, I'm really happy for the South of Midnight team to win that.
Yeah, but no, I really liked Expedition 33. I thought it deserved to win a lot of categories, though I did see a lot of pushback about it from both people who didn't like the game, but also I saw one person talking about how they thought there should be a cap on how many awards a game should win. That you shouldn't have a game that sweeps as hard as Expedition 33 did. They're like, no, you should only be allowed to win 3 or 4, and beyond that, you shouldn't be allowed to win anymore. And people were getting some pushback. Other people were agreeing. I'm generally opposed to it, because I'm like, how do you win Game of the Year without also being the best game in your category, and also having the best soundtrack, or the best narrative, or the best art design, or the best sound design? Like, usually if you're getting Game of the Year, you're getting some of those other things as well, because otherwise, why are you getting Game of the Year? Like, it doesn't make sense to get Game of the Year and not have something in another category.
I mean, I'm wondering now if they are going to release a Game of the Year edition for Clair Obscur, and what exactly that might contain.
Probably not. They already have released DLC. They dropped that the night that the awards happened, and it's free DLC. If you have the game, you already get it. So.
Yeah, I know they released DLC on the day,
but no, like, I mean, they might tag it Game of the Year edition, but it's not going to be like anything too crazy. It might have some extra cosmetics or something in, because there are like costumes in that game that they could definitely microtransaction the hell out of it if they really wanted to, but they don't.
Yeah.
What did even?
We also have to talk about the Dispatch drama, and the fact that because Dispatch was episodic, it wasn't allowed to be nominees for the big things.
That makes a bit of sense because you need to kind of have the game out and done by a certain time, but I can also see why that would upset people.
That's not right though, because
I mean,
the game is released. It's just the next update, which would release the next episodes, hadn't happened, and it's like, well, Elden Ring Night Rain released, and we're still putting out updates, and so were a lot of the other games as well.
Yeah, but for Dispatch, the full game, the full Dispatch experience, really, I think that was fully released past the deadline. Elden Ring dropped in February. Like, even though they did...
Night Rain, I mean.
When did Night Rain drop? That was the summer sometime. Yeah, and they're still adding stuff to it, but like it is a fully fleshed out experience already, and I feel like
May.
I feel like Dispatch might have been a little bit too close to the line for that. Because one of the few years I did get upset at the Game Awards for a nominee was God of War Ragnarok, because that dropped like the week before you were allowed to vote for nominations. And I'm like, what the fuck is this even doing here? It hasn't been out long enough to matter. They sold 30,000 copies before you could start voting. Like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it was crap. I was so frustrated and upset with it.
We then have to use that same thing for Arc Raiders, because Arc Raiders came out like 2-3 weeks before closing of votes.
Yeah, then I wouldn't agree with it either. Yeah, I would basically put it as...
released 30th of October, and closing was 3 weeks after that. So
yeah, then I say definitely don't. Yeah, I don't think it should have been included. But also, I like for when they came out to Players' Choice Awards, I actually thought Dispatch would win that one. As much as I wanted Expedition 33 to win, Players' Choice was like Genshin, Wuwa, Expedition 33, Dispatch, and something else. I'm like, oh, Dispatch could actually win this. Oh, it was Silksong? Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know how Wuwa won. I said this on the live. I'm going to repeat it again. But the fact that as a gaming community we voted for Wuwa to win over, well, just Silksong or Claire is shocking. It kind of shows we are so mentally addicted to anime boobies.
So I don't think it's that. Actually, somebody brought up a good thing in the Discord that I was in. We were chatting about this. Those gacha games will give people a positive like benefit, not anything too big, but like some reward in game if they go and vote. And man, Asia loves these gacha games, because the Game Awards is not restricted to just English-speaking countries like America or the UK or Canada. It's global. So China and Korea can vote for these games. I don't know about China, but Korea definitely can. And yeah, if Wuwa is basically telling everybody who plays Wuwa, go vote for Wuwa in the Player's Choice section, will give you, 100 in-game currency, yeah, people will do it.
Yeah.
New Digimon game should have won something. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. As a fan of gacha games, screw Genshin. Yeah. Genshin was there too, probably for the same reason. Both Genshin and Wuwa are only there because those games basically are bribing their players to vote for them. There are probably some people who did it unironically. But, like, yeah, no. People, from what I was hearing, people were getting effectively a small bribe in-game to vote for the game in the award show. And that's why they did so well. I have a genuine beef with Genshin, the company, and the clones. Yeah, I mean, those games tend to be very exploitative anyways. And from what I remember hearing, somebody like talking about like the history of video games, a big part of the reason why we have microtransactions and gachas in the first place is consumer trends in Korea, because they had like an economic downturn and people would go to like gaming cafes to play, and those cafes would just pirate the games that people were using. So the game developers are like, oh, fine, we won't just sell a fully fleshed out game. We'll sell them an account, which they buy characters for. The 1,000-year-old dragon trope. Yeah, I mean, fair.
1,000-year-old dragon.
But yeah, Expedition 33. I don't agree with the if they're being a limit to a sweep. Like, if a game's good enough to win Game of the Year, it's going to sweep a bunch of other categories, and telling it can't win those because it's getting something else is just silly. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we can't restrict games to a limited amount of awards.
Yeah, if it's good enough to win everything, it's good enough to win everything. But yeah, not literally everything. Don't be literal, but I could hear you winding up.
No, but like we can say it's good enough, but it's never going to, because again, this is a popularity contest.
Yeah. When we definitely both you, me, and UI and chat are in agreement there should be more categories. And also like
as many awards as they did, exactly. Popularity contest.
Yeah, I mean nobody complained when Baldur's Gate 3 got it, but also like anytime they have these award shows, anybody whose game didn't win is gonna get salty about it. I've seen people get salty over Kingdom Come Deliverance not getting Best RPG. I've seen people complain about Silksong not getting thing, Hades 2 not getting art direction. And all valid, but like everybody people get heated after these shows. And I said something to some friends, and I'm going to repeat it again here. Statistically, most nominees don't win. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
There's going to be 5 or 6 nominees for every category, and there's going to be 4 or 5 losers in every category. Your favorite is not going to win everywhere. Happy Hades 2 won something. I agree, and it won like best action game, and I agree with that. That's a good one for Hades 2. Supergiant Games, I love that studio. They make great stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I love Supergiant.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add for the Game Awards, Dan?
No, actually, it was just that.
Okay. Then I had 2 other topics that we could touch on if we'd like to. So, what would be the best segue for it here? I guess probably this one would be the better thing. Because I talked about like seeing people getting heated on the internet after these award shows, and I had a section here where I wanted to talk about social media sanitation etiquette. Which is basically...
What do we mean by social media sanitation, though? What does that mean?
Well, sanitation is like cleaning up and getting rid of trash.
Okay. So what exactly are we cleaning up and getting rid of?
So there's been a lot of drama online this year. And at some point in the past couple weeks, somebody shared information about the Twitter algorithm, or at least the old one. And basically, like, the best things you could do to boost an algorithm for somebody is like a quote retweet. Or reading it or watching it for a long period of time, like watching a video for 10 seconds, reading text for 2 seconds. Like, these are the metrics that basically boosted your reputation on Twitter as somebody that the platform wants to see. So if somebody does something that you don't like, don't respond, don't reply to it, don't quote retweet it, don't put a passive aggressive post about it. Just block them, mute them, and move on. Literally, the old algorithm would hurt them more for you blocking and muting them than it would hurt them for you quote retweeting them and being like, I wildly disagree with this person. Like, sometimes there's things that you want to add context to. Like today with that artist that got called out for scamming people, I quote retweeted the original accuser and said, hey, I know this artist. I'm not surprised by this. Like, I've seen things that would probably back up this person's claim. Because I want to magnify that post. I want to amplify it. But if somebody says something that you don't like, and you think even for half a second it's some kind of rage bait or some kind of like engagement farming, block them or mute them and move on with your life. Even if they're a big streamer. Because so many of them engage in engagement bait. They really just do. Foxy said they deleted their TikTok because of the toxic fandom spaces that existed on it. Honestly, you left most fandom spaces and you still like fan content and indie stuff, but you don't want to join fandom spaces anymore. That's fair. People can get really, really passionate about something to the detriment of common sense sometimes. But yeah, if somebody makes cool things, but they're a toxic person about it, absolutely block or mute them. Get rid of them. I've never, the few times I've undone that and gone back to a person that, that like I'm like, no, I think this person's toxic, I'm going to ignore them, I've always regretted it, and I've always had to redo it again. My instincts on them are actually sharp on it, because it's just, yeah, if somebody is chest deep in drama farming or engagement farming or drama posting, just get rid of them. You will make your timeline cleaner by not engaging with it than you will by trying to correct people on the internet. That will never happen. I basically left communities this year that used to define me personally. That's good on you, Foxy. That's real hard to do sometimes. Like, re-examining yourself and not defining yourself by what communities you're a part of. That's really, really mature of you. Good for you. But yeah, basically, like, I've seen so many posts this past year about how bad people's For You tabs are. And that algorithm shows you stuff in the For You tab that you want to see. And it does it based on what you're looking at and interacting with. If you don't feed it that information, like, it's not going to show you that. Like, if somebody's like, oh my god, why do I keep seeing all these advertisements on YouTube for porn games? It's like, well, either it doesn't know anything about you, or you've looked at enough stuff that the algorithm thinks you want to buy a porn game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a self-report, my friend.
Yeah, that kind of gives gives yourself away there, doesn't it?
But yeah, it's hard to do. And I just, given the choice between walking away from social media entirely, which is what a lot of people have done over the last year or two because of how bad stuff has gotten, like, curating my space has made me a lot healthier than just walking away. Some people say things like,
it's really difficult to curate a space after you've been on social media for so long.
It's tricky.
I think that's why you were talking about, like, sanitation, so, like, clearing out.
Yeah, getting rid of stuff that's just
old
trash.
Messages or posts, things like that.
But yeah, Foxy said here, they saw people say things like, oh my god, this fictional character is my soulmate, and if you also like them, I will block you, as a kid on TikTok with a rant account. Yeah, I would block that account so fast. I have no patience for it anymore. Learn to share this person that isn't real. Like, yeah, people are just dramatic, and they've confused being loud with having a good point. And the more there are people like that, the more I'm just like, no, I don't need to see this. I don't need to talk with it. I don't need to engage with it. You know, going back briefly into the whole Cinder situation, this is a bit of a funny thing. She said in her document, she said in her comeback stream, hey, leave people alone that are involved in this. Don't go after them. Don't bother them. Don't harass them. I don't want you to do it. And if I catch you doing it, I will block you. I literally saw somebody in threads that liked her basically saying, oh my god, I've gotten 2 warnings from her Discord, and if I make another mistake, they'll ban me, but I just can't stop myself. I'm like, my guy, let it go. Let it go.
Get a life.
Basically, yeah.
Sorry, get a life. Your life should not revolve around a content creator. Okay? If your sole life becomes based around fully watching me or always engaging in my stuff, like,
first of all, thank you for the support, but also please take care of yourself.
Yeah,
we just had that conversation about self-care earlier. Go outside, touch some grass, have a good meal.
Relationship, it is one-sided. It is entirely parasocial at that point.
Yeah.
We can be friends, yes. I can be friends with audience members. I can be friends with those in chat, with my mods, with co-hosts as well, such as other Dan. Like, but no, we're not.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not your everything. I'm not your world. I'm not your universe. I wish I was, teehee. Send me money, teehee. But I'm not. So.
Yeah. So basically, just a reminder for people, especially with the year we've had and how toxic places have gotten, especially after a couple of the reward show dramas. Like, if somebody's acting a damn fool, block them, mute them, and move on. It's the best thing you can do. Like, Foxy says, they used to be and still are obsessed with characters, but if you know what I did, I shared that obsession with my friend and sent her cringe TikToks. Share with others. Yeah, sharing is fine. But like, Because sometimes you share stuff with people and like they're like, hey, I really like this. Like there's a Discord that I'm a part of, and one of the people in that Discord really, really likes Yuri content and like girl on girl relationship stuff. And I started reading a manga they recommended me, and it's actually pretty good. Like it's well drawn, it's an interesting story. I like it a lot.
Dusty, you okay?
We shared that same brain worm for years. Yeah. Ugh.
We might have to take a break for my cat. So.
Well, I only had one topic left, and it's a relatively short one here. So this might actually be a bit of a shorter Dan and Dan. But
Okay.
There's a topic in VTubing spaces that I've heard referred to in the past as talking about a VTuber's past lives, and that it is basically taboo. You're not supposed to mention any roles they had previously. You're not supposed to say like, oh, this person, they were this other VTuber. Like it's a bit of a social faux pas in the space. But I am of the opinion that there is a set of unspoken rules that we all know, but we never talk about, we never write down, that are justifications to break this taboo and talk about things. And the example I have here is, I think it was last month, there was somebody that got called out, somebody that started acting a fool and kept acting up and eventually got called out by a fairly large English VTuber. And they basically, let me bring up their...
Sorry, my cat is scratching at me. Yes, baby boy.
Hi, kitty. So this person here called out this other VTuber, the one who was acting up, and they're basically like, you had 5 past lives, and you had 5 past lives, you didn't learn anything from them, and you continue to be a toxic person. And here are their names, and lists all 5 of their VTuber personas that they've ever had
in the past
as a way of basically shaming them now and saying like, hey, you never learned, you never grew up as a person, and you are still just a terrible human being, and stop deleting your account and go into a new one.
I think it's generally a shared, like, frowned upon thing to bring up someone's past VTubing history. I don't know why it is taboo, but it's just generally an unspoken rule that it's taboo to do that.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that's interesting to talk about, especially in this instance where a large English VTuber broke that taboo and caught no flack for it because they were adhering to one of the unspoken rules, one of the ones that even I had in my head, which is sort of a like, if somebody is problematic and continues to repeat the same behavior, you have an obligation to call them out and to make people aware of, hey, it's not just that this person is toxic, it's that this person has been toxic for the last 5 years under these previous personas. I call that particular rule, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? It's not the most graceful name for a rule, but boy oh boy, it gets the point across. Other examples being like if the person publicly acknowledges it, and this is the only example here I'm going to talk about it, Doki Bird, when she returned to streaming, was very clear, like, hey, I used to be Selene from Niji Sanji. She said it. She tweeted it out, and that's the only reason I'm going to comment on it, because she literally told people. There are other VTubers who use, like, community names or catchphrases, and there's kind of a sort of soft, like, they're saying it without saying it, but
there's Sava, who used to be Gura from Horror Live, and it's quite obviously.
You can hear it in her voice. I won't say
she doesn't try and hide it in any way, so she's not denying it at all.
Yeah. Another example, and I'm not going to say who she used to be, but Henya the Genius from formerly of V Shoujo. The moment she spoke, everybody knew who she used to be. But I won't say it because it's taboo, and I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, I don't know who you used to be. We know. We all know. We're not going to sit here and pretend we don't.
Let's go.
We're just going to politely not say it. But yeah, in my head, the rules were basically, is the person publicly acknowledging it in some way? Or also, the second rule is like, are you trying to funnel an old fan to this person? because I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem where it's like, oh, my old VTuber, you know, Chloe-san graduated and I don't know what to do with myself. You're like, well, you should check out Rebecca-san. She's pretty cool. I think you'd like her. Oh, but Chloe-san was my one and only. I'll never replace her. Yeah, but Rebecca's pretty cool. You should check out Rebecca. Trust me, my guy. I would never do you bad. Oh, but Chloe-san. You just grab him by the face and go, fucking watch Rebecca, damn it. Why? Reasons. And it's because Rebecca is Chloe. But why is it taboo? I think we said this earlier, but I think a lot of it is like left over from idol culture. When somebody leaves a role, like that's why they call it graduating. They graduate from that role and they move on to something else. But generally,
in a way, it's like putting the character and its story to rest, and like you're not meant to talk about that character anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But the other two rules I had in my head, obviously the aforementioned, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? And also, did this person do something illegal? Like, if this person is grooming minors or killed somebody or is a danger to the community, no one has a problem calling that person out.
Yeah.
Like, the rule gets broken real fast if that's the case. And no one...
I agree with breaking that rule if it's to protect the community. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah, I agree as well, but it's one of those things, we talk about this as a hard and solid rule. Do not talk about past lives, but there's always that unmentioned, unless it's one of these situations.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a fun thing to kind of like have a moment where we acknowledge, like, yeah, the rule's more of like a guideline. A little bit of a Pirate Caribbean's. Like, the rules are more like guidelines.
Guidelines, the natural rules. Actually got caught in something like that earlier this year, where someone's past life came to light, and we had, I say we, it was like a group of us. We had to, in a way, ostracize and cut contact with that person because of things that they had done in the past that they'd not like owned up to or admitted to or like apologized or anything like that. So yeah, we had to do something like that earlier this year, which is why I'm so for things like sharing that kind of stuff with the community. It's the same for the Niji Sanji people, like how it came out, how there were certain Niji boys that had really, really bad past lives, and they were really, really bad people.
Mm-hmm.
And how I basically dropped Niji Sanji as a whole from being a fan, and put all of their merch in a box, and that box is practically just sealed away now until I can either be bothered to sell it on eBay or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong, and it's just it's frustrating when that stuff happens, and but it's one of those things, we don't talk about it out of respect, but when it becomes an issue of somebody coming back to take advantage of a community and trying to bury their past, sometimes you gotta talk about it to make that known. And I
was more saddened that I hadn't been told by the person themselves. It was like they'd tried to bury their problematic past. And it's like, well, if you're just open with me and say to me, hey, I have a past where I've been like this towards people. I'm different now, though, as you can see. I'm more likely to be like, okay, well, I'll just, we'll still hang out and stuff. Because you've owned up to it.
Yeah.
Rather than having to read a whole, like, expose thread or Word doc.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because it's just it's messy and it's uncomfortable. But like, it's a bit of a weird space in the VTubing area where, like I said, we don't talk about it, but we do, but we pretend that we don't, and it's complicated. But That was the last of my topics. I have gone through everything on my list.
That's everything on mine as well. Well, other than, what are a few of the upcoming games next year that you are excited for 2026? What are you excited to see?
Sure, we can talk about that. I thought we were gonna do like another like 2025 overall stream too around like New Year's. Do we want to save this topic for that?
Sorry. Yeah, we can do that. Sorry, I completely.
I might be misremembering it. But yeah, I can give a couple here. One of the big.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're doing the end of the year.
I will mention one because it's something I'm really looking forward to. Where is it in my wish list? Jesus.
I was looking at mine as well.
Yep. It's your. Oh, it's number 4. That's why. It's a game called Grave Seasons. It is a farming sim horror game where each time you start a new playthrough, one of the characters in the game is randomly selected to be a supernatural killer. The trailer makes it look like it's a werewolf. So it's a farming sim that also simulates like a game of werewolf. And every time it selects a different person.
Yeah.
You can even end up dating the killer without knowing it. And
it's already on my wish list actually.
Probably because I told you about it, because I've been watching this game like crazy. A little bit like Town of Salem, Voxy, yeah. But yeah, it's a phenomenally interesting game. I follow the pixel artist who does it. The sprite work for the talking sprites are really good. Everything about this seems so fucking cool. And I'm really hoping the game turns out well. It's one of my big hopefuls for next year. But if you want to know more of them, you probably have to watch some later. That werewolf is scary. It is, but also some people probably like that werewolf.
Me.
Yeah.
I can't help my saucy side, okay?
Yeah, no, that thing is... Oh, that's a great screenshot of that thing. Yeah. But yeah, you might have to tune in for some later Dan and Dan to hear us talk about 2026 games and such.
Yes. What have you got in the upcoming week for everyone?
For the upcoming week, I am going to be finishing up my collab playthrough of It Takes Two with a Vexing Cat this coming Friday, because we have about one more stream left of that.
Did some of that yesterday.
Yeah, it's a real fun game. I'm also finishing up a game called Lil Guardsman, which is you're playing a 12-year-old covering your dad's shift at a guard station, and you are given much more responsibility than you should be. But it's fun and it's interesting. It's kind of like Papers, Please, where like people will walk up and you kind of have to interrogate them a little bit to determine whether or not you'll let them in the city or not. So I like it a lot. But I think I have about one more stream left in me of that. So that'll be done as well. And then I just finished a game this past week. I just finished a game called Bulletstorm, which is a first-person shooter game, and I'm gonna have to pick an extra game for next week. I might do Monster Hunter just for the new update that's coming out on Tuesday. So I might do Monster Hunter on Wednesday.
Oh, with Gogmazios.
Yeah. Gogmazios, yes. So I might do
Have you fought Gogmazios before? It's been in one Monster Hunter game before. I'm wondering if you've played it.
I have not. I joined in World, so I never got to play Gogmazios. Play against it.
Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Did it fix the performance issues?
They're talking about doing it. It's on their list. They're going to get to it.
They've already done. This is what this update is going to be. It's a 5% CPU upgrade for frames.
I was watching some video earlier today talking about what they're doing, and there's actually like a couple of rounds of updates they're doing, even into like January and February, trying to clean up PC performance. So they're still working on it.
They're struggling, but they are working on it, you know.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of like being a little too late for it to be. Like the game's been out for like 9 months now. They really should have had it working out of the box, and for it to go this long without it working great really burned any of the early adopters. I know this is the last Monster Hunter game I'm going to be buying on release because of just all the issues I've been seeing with it.
Yes. I don't pre-order game. I will say this now to everyone. I don't. Maybe this could be a topic actually to tack on the end. But what are your thoughts on pre-ordering games and pre-ordering in general?
It's a rarity for me. I don't do it very often these days. I'll usually just buy it afterwards. I'm usually buying it on Steam and buying it on sale. There's a very small number of games I would get as a pre-order. And usually there's some kind of incentive. The only game I would have... I think I pre-ordered Monster Hunter, but that was just for a cosmetic. The only game I would have probably wanted to pre-order this year, but couldn't, was Silksong. Because Silksong you had to buy it the day it came out, and that just crashed the internet. And they could have handled that better. But there's definitely... I would much rather pre-order an indie game than a AAA game. Because the AAA ones just have too bad of a reputation. But for some of them, probably I'd be fine, but generally I don't do it much anymore. You only pre-order the games if you played a demo and trust the company. Yeah, that's kind of where I am, Foxy. Boxy says, if they had a very good beta, they'd do it. You pre-ordered Digimon because you played the demo and loved it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as much as places want pre-order sales, that's really there to help the company. It's not there to help the players. So,
Yeah.
like... pre-order if it helps you personally, but not the company. Like, you're not there to fix the company.
You've heard of the demo, so played the demo and loved it. These are a good beta. Not all games have a beta. Yeah, we should bear that in mind. I guess my take would be I never pre-order games anymore. I stopped pre-ordering games back when. Which Pokemon game was it? The one with Lunala. Pokemon Moon?
Oof.
Pokemon Sun and Moon. That killed my pre-ordering behavior. So, yeah.
No, that's fair, because there's definitely a lot... there's definitely a lot that just does not work out well and just is kind of crap. And a lot of, like, really scummy behavior from companies, because they really just want that money as soon as possible. And they don't care if they give you a shit game in the process. So the only real way to deal with that is just don't let them get the money. Just keep them at arm's length and then just let them sit there and beg for it. And give your money to people you trust. But even for some games, like I remember pre-ordering or day one ordering a Supergiant game a while back, and I ended up not liking it that much. So, not much, because it was Transistor is what it was. And I just didn't like the...
Oh, I liked Transistor, but I could never get into the combat.
Yeah,
I was never good at the combat.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was, because I liked the combat in Bastion, but I didn't like Transistor as much. So, when the next game, Pyre, came out, yeah, I didn't buy it day one. I just kind of checked it out, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of looks a certain way. Maybe I'll buy it on sale. And I ended up buying it on sale, and I didn't like it that much, but I'm like, well, at least I only bought it on sale, and I didn't spend the full price. That's fine. But yeah, pre-ordering isn't something I do much anymore. There's a very small number of games I would pre-order. You only like Pokemon fan content, the actual games and merch you don't care for. I feel like that's a lot of older fans' opinion about Pokemon. Like, the fan content is just better. Pokemon's just some weird money-making machine for Nintendo that just doesn't... Could be so much better if they actually put the effort into it, but they don't.
The efficiency of Pokemon making money is dropping off.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable anymore for them.
Yeah, because they keep burning bridges with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's why they've had to go to like 3D graphics and all that stuff.
Love Pokemon for 20 years, but now you feel weird about it? I mean, that's kind of natural as you get older. You adjust, you change, your interests and hobbies and tastes change. So, but that's about where I am on pre-orders. But
okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, that's a valid question. It's a good one too.
Thank you.
But let's look for somebody to raid potentially.
Okay.
Anybody around that we both know that could get a raid.
I'll let you find someone because I know too many people. So
Let's see. I'm not seeing anybody that I really like either. The one group of people that I know I really like, they've been going for 3 hours, and I have no idea how much longer they're going to be going. And there's one person on my list that I know you like, but there just says experimental stream, and I don't know.
Who's that?
I'll send you the name.
Yeah, let me check DMs. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Yeah. Let's rate that person.
That's a terrible link. Why is that link the way that it is? Yeah,
let's rate that person.
Yeah, they're a sweetie.
I love her.
But thank you all for joining us for this latest edition of Dan and Dan. On my end, the count is at 10. We have done 10 of these.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Woo!
So happy double digits, Dan.
We did it, Dan. We're in the double digits. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we'll be doing one towards the end of the year.
End of the year, beginning of next year. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And that will be discussing 2026 and the road ahead, in terms of games that we are excited to see.
Yep.
But yes, thank you so much for being here, Deuscain. Everyone, go check this out. Let me do a shout out for you, bro. Quick. There we go. Yes.
Got you
Please
first.
go follow.
Maybe.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go raid 2. Queen of the Chocolate Stars.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody, and we will both see you later. Take care.
Look out yourselves. Bye bye.